Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Thursday, the 24th of September 2020. And we're asking the question, why have silver prices crashed this week? And you know what? We're going to give you some answers. So here goes. Okay, now in fairness, it's not just silver that has fallen in price, but most, if not all, precious metals, including gold. But that said, those precious metals with an industrial usage component, such as silver and platinum particularly, these have fared far worse than their gold cousin. Over the past 7 days, gold has fallen by 4%, and so too has palladium. Platinum, however, is down 9%, and silver is down a whopping 14%. And it's silver we're going to focus on again today. Now, on Monday, we published a video entitled, Why Silver Prices Crashed Below Multiple Support Levels, where silver prices fell below $25 and into the early $24 region, settling at $24.41. Now, we have to bear in mind that it wasn't that long ago, of course, when silver was hovering around $30. And if we go back to March, it actually dipped to below $13 an ounce. Anyway, on Tuesday, we published another video podcast entitled, Gold Price Declines, but Is It Only Temporary? And although that video focused on gold, we covered silver too. And we found that silver had dipped even further, and this time to $24.29. Now, yesterday, we published a video entitled, Why Gold and Silver Continues to Fall. You noticing this theme? And at which time of publication, silver had then receded to $23.01, while gold stood at $1,865. Though silver had in fact been as low as $22.95. Well, today the carnage continued, at least for a while. But at the time of producing this podcast, which is 2200 hours GMT plus 1, we can see that silver is hovering around $23.21, which will be a relief for many, because it has been as low as $21.70 today. Yes, I shall repeat that. Silver not only crashed through $23 to the downside, but also through $22 and was making an attempt to head for $21.50, but found some new buying at $21.70 and has regained some of its composure. Now, we pointed out yesterday that we could see even from those low levels that silver would fall again. And this is what we've experienced with some vigor. So we thought we should once again look at the rationale for silver falling at such a considerable rate. Some of our comments will repeat what we've already stated in our earlier videos this week. And some are either an addition or an extension of those comments. Now, we shall try and keep today's podcast relatively brief, and so we'll try and encapsulate what has, in fact, happened. Now, whilst we shall list these reasons in numerical order, it does not necessarily reflect the strength of impact in that precise order, and we also have to accept that many of these reasons are, to some extent, interwoven and play on one another. So here goes. 1. The strengthening of the US dollar. In our Gold and Silver Weekly Update published last Saturday, and we've put a link in the description box below, we pointed out that the US dollar index closed last week at 92.92, which was down some 0.41 points on the week. Well, even though it's been higher earlier on today, the index is still well above 94 at 94.36. almost 1.5 points higher than Friday's close. And this has acted as a headwind, a considerable headwind, for precious metals. And many commodities, in fact, been priced in US dollar terms, but especially precious metals. 2. Stock market falls. Currently, the Dow Jones stands at 26,815, but last Friday it closed at 27,657, so it's fallen some 842 points so far this week. Now, that's not an earth-shattering fall, but it did cause some concern amongst traders. The S&P 500 has fallen 73 points since last Friday, and the Nasdaq has fallen 121 points. All of these markets, though, have been lowered today, and there was some concern that precious metals had to be sold to cover losses and margin calls, particularly yesterday. 3. The FOMC, that's the part of the Federal Reserve that makes the decisions on interest rates, failed to introduce new stimulus measures, and the Trump administration has also failed to introduce a new round of public funding to help alleviate the negative economic effects of the coronavirus. Indeed, with Congress as a whole unable to agree a package of measures, and the Fed basically stating it is doing all that it can do, and therefore it is now up to governments. This, in our rather topsy-turvy world of economics, has caused the dollar to strengthen, simply because further money printing is not on the immediate horizon, though few of us doubt that it will resume shortly. 4. Economic figures out this week, though marginally disappointing, are still showing signs of some growth or flattening out, including the important weekly jobless claims figures announced today, showing marginal improvements, though again negative as far as expectations were concerned. And new home sales for August also having risen from the previous month. All of this, or these, have served to strengthen the dollar further. 5. What goes up must come down, and we can see the traders in precious metals have also taken some profits on some pretty phenomenal gains achieved so far this year. 6. Investment managers around the world, seeing problems with their own economies and equity markets, have been viewing the recent demise of the US dollar as a necessary breathtaker, and have now started to reinvest in that currency as a safe haven asset, thereby preventing to some degree gold and silver of these very valuable funds that it would have expected to have received, and at the same time strengthening the US dollar as a result. 7. For us, this is quite a large reason, but difficult to quantify exactly right now as the figures are not readily available, but soon will be. With currency printing due to COVID increasing the monetary demand for silver, plus a sharp improvement in global economies, albeit from an extremely low base, engendered a feeling generally that the industrial demand for silver would rise and continue to rise into the future as these economies continued on their relative growth paths. However, with COVID-19 infections on the increase and the global fears of not only a second wave but increasing deaths, a number of lockdown measures have been implemented and many promised or threatened, thereby stalling the envisaged economic recovery. This, in turn, adversely affects the demand for silver and industrial metals, regardless of whether they're precious or not. Now, it may take a little time before we actually see to what extent this has been affected, but even the fear of it has been enough to send a mild panic throughout those trading this particular precious metal. So, in other words, the industrial demand for silver is expected to fall because the rampant rage of COVID-19 re-affecting large swathes of the world's population is going to have a severe dampening effect on economic growth. Now, there are other reasons which could also be included, but we suspect most of them have less significance. Now, we have seen some people comment on our channel, but particularly elsewhere, who have stated that market manipulation have caused the fall in silver prices, but frankly we don't agree. If the powers that be, these hidden powers lurking in the shadows, were content to see silver rise to $30 an ounce, they would not be that exercised to have seen it languish between $25 and $27, which is where it's been for the past couple of weeks, and then decided that they wanted to crash it because this $25 to $27 is far too high. Sorry, that one's not washing with us. But if it makes those who believe it feel better, then that's fine. Now, yesterday we quoted the following, and the same still obviously applies today. Quote, silver's next key support level rests around $22.50, but could easily fall back to $20. Some may remember a number of weeks ago we did state not to be surprised should silver fall to the $22 level and potentially hit $20 again before any new upward leg is achieved. So, unquote, basically. So, we did see silver fall below $22.50, aiming for $21, but has done an about turn at $21.70. Of course, everyone is now wondering, will it go any higher or resume its most recent downward trend? Now, we still do not believe that silver is out of the woods quite yet, but have to admit it has taken quite a fall this week already. On the economic news front, we have the US announcing durable and capital goods orders for August, but we really do not think these will have a major impact on silver prices, and these figures are being announced tomorrow. We can see silver attempting another downward move again tomorrow, but to be fair, some traders may think it has fallen quite enough for 1 week. Now, of course, on Saturday, we shall be giving our weekly update, and if anything exciting happens tomorrow, we shall produce another video podcast then. But we're not really expecting silver to either fall dramatically from its current level or rise dramatically from its current level, unless there is a major announcement that has not been anticipated. Now, meanwhile, watch out for the coronavirus figures. As yesterday, the United States again had over 1,000 deaths, and today's figures look perilously close to that again. With the political shenanigans between Republicans and Democrats in the United States, allowing us to be distracted by political intrigue. It's what is actually happening to the economy and how people are going to cope with any further downtrend in trade, which should be exercising the minds, not only of us, but also of those who apparently lead and govern us. What do you think? Do share your thoughts. Thank you so much for listening, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to this channel, not forgetting to press the bell sign so that you're notified of our videos as and when they are published. We hope you have found this video interesting and informative, and if so, please give it a thumbs up and share it on social media. Please ensure that you have subscribed to our channel and press the bell sign so that you are notified of any future videos. Also, kindly visit our website at illuminatisilver.com, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe either as a free or paying member for regular email updates and offers. Disclaimer: Illuminati Silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.